Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Jeanelle Slade.
And I'm Russ Riesinger. Word of a trade deal with China sent stocks soaring higher today and potentially means a boost to farm and ranch trade.
A little optimism from the president means stocks surge as investors hope for a U.S.-China trade truce.
Well, this possible deal comes after months of escalating trade tensions.
Bafta Yeaman is at the White House where President Trump made that announcement.
President Trump and the Chinese vice premier announced a tentative deal to ease trade tensions at the White House Friday.
We just made what I guess is one of the biggest deals that's been made in a long time with China. We're papering it now. Over the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, hopefully it'll get finished.
A planned U.S. tariff hike from 25 to 30% on $250 billion of Chinese goods will no longer go forward next week. China has agreed to purchase tens of billions of dollars more in U.S. agricultural products. The White House is calling this a phase 1 deal. Officials were short on other specifics, though they expect it to address intellectual property and currency concerns.
We have pretty much almost a complete agreement on both those issues. We have an agreement around transparency into the foreign exchange markets and free markets, so we're very pleased with that.
U.S. stocks soared throughout the day after the president tweeted that good things and warmer feelings were happening during the day's talks. The Dow closed more than 300 points higher, and the NASDAQ rose more than 100 points. The Chinese vice premier handed President Trump a letter from Chinese President Xi Jinping, who also has to agree to the deal. If that happens, President Trump hinted there could be a formal signing between the two leaders in the coming weeks. Bafta Yeaman, CBS News, the White House.
According to an earlier tweet from President Trump, if the deal goes forward, he expects it to be finalized without needing congressional approval.
Well, acting Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleenan is out.
President Trump tweeted the announcement tonight. Sources tell CBS News that McAleenan felt he has done what he wanted to do by stopping asylum seekers on the southern border, and he wants to spend more time with his family.
He is the 4th person to serve in the post since the Trump presidency began.
Well, it's been a busy day on the campaign trail in Montana. Here in Billings, Representative Greg Gianforte announced a Montana business plan idea as part of his run for governor. Gianforte told a group of supporters gathered at Action Electric that he wants people from across the state to help him build this business plan. He revealed a website for people to send him ideas. Now, he believes the nation is on the right economic track, but Montana needs a tune-up.
I think the state should take a page from the national playbook, lower taxes for all Montanans, both income tax, property taxes, as well as reduce the excessive regulations that hold back businesses.
Gianforte's new website is montanabusinessplan.com.
One of 4 Democrats running for Montana governor has rolled out his first major policy proposal. Casey Schreiner wants to make 2-year college tuition free for eligible Montanans. The program would offer tuition-free education at Montana's 2-year programs, including community and tribal colleges. It would be open to Montana high school graduates from the previous year and other students who enroll in programs for in-demand occupations. The latter group would also have to agree to work in Montana for 2 or 4 years after graduating. The other Democrats running for governor are Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney, former state legislator Riley Neal, and Missoula businesswoman Whitney Williams.
Senator John Tester taking some tough questions at a town hall in Livingston today.
The Democratic senator covered topics ranging from suicide rates for farmers to the impeachment inquiry against President Trump.
He also weighed in on public land use issues and the importance of the public input when talking about them. About 150 people attended today's town hall meeting.
All right, on the weather desk now, Q2 meteorologist Ed McIntosh is Ed. And Ed, we're looking forward to a nicer weekend, but still we're below normal as far as our temperatures go.
Yeah, but I guess after we have record snow and record cold, anything feels like picnic weather after that. Let's take a look. First Interstate iCam here this evening. Today we hit 41 for a daytime high, 20 degrees below average for this time of the year. And this morning we were just a few degrees above a record low. And across the region, we're looking at the temperatures continuing to warm a bit. Now, as Russ mentioned, we're going to stay below the seasonal averages through through the first part of the week. The warm-up will start to build in towards midweek, but that will come at a cost. We'll tell you what that is and break down the rest of the forecast details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Ed.
Well, this coming Monday is Columbus Day, a federal holiday recognizing Christopher Columbus's arrival to the Americas on October 12, 1492.
But this holiday to some is a controversial one. They say celebrating Columbus is celebrating someone who brutalized and demeaned Native American people more than 500 years ago. A number of states are legally changing the day to Indigenous Peoples Day.
Montana among those pushing for change. Q2 Zoe Zandor standing by now with more. Zoe?
Yeah, a number of states, including North Carolina, Alaska, and Maine, have shifted to reorienting the Columbus Day holiday by renaming it, and some in Montana taking a stand to try and do the same. Democratic Rep. Shane Moorjo introduced Bill 219 to replace Columbus Day as a state holiday in October with Indigenous Peoples Day. Now, the Montana House endorsed the bill back in February, voting and passing the Bill 219, 62 votes to 38. It then went to Senate, where it was heard in the Senate State Administration Committee on March 13th. Then shortly after, the committee tabled it, killing the bill on April 1st. Now, I spoke with Moorjo on the phone today, and he says what it's going to take to make this name change in Montana is who is elected and who is educated.
It starts with who we elect, but I also think it starts with people being willing and open to have conversations with each other and being open and honest with each other about what this person did and who he was, and realizing that it really does have deep implications for people of color, people in the state, especially when we have, around over 7% Indian population in the state. Columbus, and what he means to Indigenous people and what he did to Indigenous people is not who we are in Montana.
Now, some cities and companies in Montana are taking action. The cities of Missoula and Bozeman have already changed the day to Indigenous People Day, and Shane Moorjo hopes the trend will continue. Russ and Jeanelle.
All right, thank you, Zoe.
Up next on your 10 o'clock news this Friday, evacuations ordered as explosive fires near Los Angeles take over. We will take you there.
We're also going to check in with a local expert to find out what we can salvage from our gardens after that snow.
And in sports, a city rivalry on the gridiron. Highlights of Senior and Skyview in just a bit.
You're watching MTN News with Janelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.